The 1970s, a decade of disco, oil crises, and economic uncertainty. The average American was driving a Pinto and worrying about gas lines. But for the ultra-wealthy, the 70s were the last golden age of unapologetic automotive excess. Massive V8 land yachts, hand-stitched Italian leather, engines so big they measured displacement in the hundreds of cubic inches. Today, we are not talking about the cars regular people drove. We are talking about the machines that separated millionaires from everyone else. Rolling palaces that cost more than houses. Cars so exclusive that owning one meant you had truly arrived. If you have ever wondered what it felt like to be Elvis cruising through Memphis or Dean Martin rolling up to a Las Vegas casino, this journey is for you. So hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because what you are about to see is not just a list of expensive cars, it is a window into a world most people only dreamed about. Let's start with the car that defined 1970s celebrity excess, the STUTZ BLACKHAWK. When this machine debuted in 1970, it carried a price tag of $26,500. That's roughly $200,000 today, more than the median American home at the time, and 2.5 times the average annual salary. But here's what made the STUTZ truly special. Each body was handcrafted by Carrozzeria Padane in Italy, finished in 18 to 22 coats of hand-rubbed lacquer. The painting process alone took 6 weeks. Every car required over 1,500 man-hours to complete. Under that sculpted hood sat a Pontiac 455 cubic inch V8, pumping out 425 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. This 5,000-pound beast could reach 60 miles per hour in 8.4 seconds, with a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Elvis Presley became the very first STUTZ owner on October 9, 1970. The story goes that both Elvis and Frank Sinatra wanted the prototype. Sinatra refused to do publicity photos at the Los Angeles Auto Show. Elvis agreed without hesitation. Sinatra was so furious at losing that he never purchased a STUTZ, even when repeatedly asked. Elvis eventually owned 4 or 5 Blackhawks. His 1973 model featured red leather interior and 18-karat gold trim. That same car appears in the last photograph ever taken of Elvis alive, driving through Graceland's gates just hours before his death. Dean Martin owned 3 STUTZes, all bearing his infamous vanity plate that read DRUNKY. Sammy Davis Jr. bought 2. Muhammad Ali, Elton John, Johnny Cash, and the Shah of Iran reportedly owned STUTZ cars, the Shah owning 12. With only 500 to 600 units ever built, these were rarer than any Ferrari. Now let's talk about the car that started the entire neoclassic movement, the Excalibur. Designer Brooks Stevens, the same man who created the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, built the first Excalibur in 1965. He wanted to capture pre-war elegance with modern American muscle underneath. The early Series 1 Excaliburs were not just beautiful, they were genuinely fast. Weighing only 2,100 pounds and powered by a Corvette 327 producing 300 horsepower, they could hit 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, with a top speed approaching 160 miles per hour. The irony is, most owners never pushed them past 40 miles per hour. Steve McQueen owned one, so did Tony Curtis, Jackie Gleason, and Ronald Reagan. But Phyllis Diller owned 4 of them, more than any other documented celebrity. And what about you? If you could step back in time and drive just one of these machines through 1975 Los Angeles, which would you choose? Tell me in the comments. When French-born designer Alain Klenet could not find a neoclassic elegant enough for his refined tastes, he built his own. Starting in a California garage in 1975, Klenet Coachworks created rolling works of art, priced at $27,000 as a base price. Fully optioned, the price could reach $100,000. That was twice the cost of a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. Materials came from the same suppliers as Rolls-Royce, including Connolly leather, English walnut from the identical forest, and Waterford crystal ashtrays. Fortune magazine dubbed it the American Rolls-Royce. With fewer than 520 ever built, Rod Stewart, Sylvester Stallone, Farrah Fawcett, and King Hussein of Jordan all owned them. In 1986, President Reagan selected the Klenet as the official centennial car for America's 100 years of the gasoline automobile. Now we arrive at a record holder. The 1970 Cadillac Eldorado holds a distinction that still stands today. It's the most powerful front-wheel drive car ever manufactured. Ever. That legendary 500 cubic inch V8, 8.2 liters, remains the largest displacement engine ever in an American passenger car. 400 horsepower, 550 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds while weighing over 5,000 pounds and stretching past 18.5 feet long. The 1976 Eldorado convertible sparked buying hysteria when General Motors marketed it as the last American convertible. Some buyers paid double the sticker price. When Cadillac reintroduced the convertible in 1984, those angry speculators filed a class action lawsuit. They lost. Perhaps the most ironic Eldorado story? Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev received a 1972 Eldorado as a gift from President Nixon. It was America's ultimate symbol of capitalist excess, delivered directly to the leader of the communist world during the Cold War. Lincoln took a different approach to exclusivity. They partnered with fashion designers. The Mark IV and Mark V offered special editions from Bill Blass, Cartier, and Givenchy, complete with coordinated interiors and the designer's signature etched into the opera window glass. The 1978 Diamond Jubilee edition was priced at over $21,000, approximately $101,000 today. It was the most expensive vehicle Ford had ever sold. At 230 inches long, it was the longest two-door coupe Ford ever manufactured. You didn't buy a Lincoln to race, you bought it to arrive. American millionaires who wanted true old-world exclusivity looked across the Atlantic to Rolls-Royce. The Corniche commanded $245,000 in today's money. Demand was so intense, buyers faced 2-year waiting lists. Some flipped their cars the next day for double the price. Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. famously gifted Frank Sinatra a Corniche for his 70th birthday, the ultimate Rat Pack present. The Rolls-Royce Camargue claimed the title of most expensive production car in the world at over $300,000 today. Designed by Pininfarina, the legendary Italian design house, only 531 were built over 11 years. 75% sold to Americans who embraced what British traditionalists rejected. And there you have it. The cars that only millionaires could afford in the 1970s. A decade of unapologetic excess, handcrafted luxury, and rolling monuments to success. But now it's your turn. If you could choose just one of these automotive legends to keep in your garage forever, which would it be? The Elvis-approved STUTZ BLACKHAWK? The handcrafted Clinet? The record-setting Eldorado? Or the understated elegance of a Rolls-Royce? Drop your answer in the comments. Your participation keeps this community alive and unites us as passionate lovers of automotive history. And if you want to continue this journey through the golden age of American automobiles, do not miss our video on the most beautiful station wagons of the 1950s. Trust me, those cars will blow your mind. I'll see you there.